How is it going, folks? Welcome back to Chelsea. Today is episode number 22, and today we kick off the thing that really matters, the Champions League knockout stages. Last episode, we got a good result in a Carabao Cup final, but let's not get carried away just yet. There is one trophy that matters more than the others, and the first team in our way, if we want to win it, are Atletico Madrid. We take them on in the round of 16 today. First leg away from home, second leg at home, of course. In between, we do have an away trip to Nottingham Forest. We're not going to worry about that because at least right now with the Premier League, we are sitting top and pretty. Since you were last here, 2 games played, the first of which was against Norwich, a 5-3 win, fully rotated team. Wasn't exactly the most convincing of performances. In fact, we were 4-1 down in this game, or 3-1 down in this game. We came back to score 4 unanswered goals, and it was a good performance in the end. After that, 3-0 win against Crystal Palace. HAALAND couldn't pick up a hat-trick in this one. He did pick up a brace. The first from a corner, Chilwell with the ball in, scored from the penalty spot to make it 2-0. He was subbed off in the 88th minute, and that was following us grabbing our final goal of the game via Jude Bellingham. Of course, these two players scored in the Carabao Cup final in the exact same pattern. That goal there by Bellingham, probably a contender for goal of the season. With this result, we do move pretty top and clear at the summit of the Premier League. You can see here, we are now sat 9 points ahead of Liverpool. We have a game in hand as well. Win that, we'd be 12 points clear. So with that in mind, I feel like the FA Cup and the Champions League become my focus. We have been drawn against Tottenham in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. We're not going to worry quite as much about that game because I want to win the Champions League. I'm going to say that a lot, I think, in the next few episodes, assuming we don't get knocked out today. I have just realised I've not run the intro. Apologies, editing Jack. I got it wrong. We're going to run the intro. I'll then run you through our team going into today's game. Perry is still out injured. So Dean Henderson's in goal. That does scare me slightly. Today, by the way, is episode number 22 of the series. I don't know if I mentioned that in the intro. In case I didn't, right at the beginning, I think it is 22 today for those of you keeping count at home. In terms of team news for today's game, good news, we are pretty much at full strength with, well, 2 exceptions. The first, Luca Perry, out injured. Talked about that one. Caicedo, though, serving a suspension. He's been a very naughty boy, picking up yellow cards during the group stage. Sadly, without him, we do have to shuffle things around slightly. Wesley Fofana is going to come in and play at centre-back alongside Guardiola, and that means then that Upamecano steps up into that defensive midfielder position. This was always an area of the pitch where we brought him in, knowing he may have to fill in here. Today is his day to fill in here, and at 27 years old, with his current attributes, I think he's more than up to the task. I hope. In the final third, we are going to go with Haaland and Ferguson pairing one another. I feel like a lot has been made of Erling Haaland. Ferguson's not done terribly this year. Goal-scoring wise, he's not been truly sensational like Haaland. He's kind of been living in the shadow of him. But 10 contributions goal-wise in 18 games is nothing to scoff at. In the wider areas, Nkunku is back from injury. I feel like I've said that so many times during this save game. His injury issues have been slightly absurd. In fact, you can see this year, he's had 4 separate injuries, all moderate or worse as well. Fingers crossed, touch wood, he's going to stay fit for the rest of the season. And out on the left-hand side, we are going with Yamal. He is just continuing to get better and better. Every time I look at his profile, there's just new green arrows and new attributes that have turned yellow. He's been mad. Real Madrid are currently running away with the La Liga title. Atleti, by comparison, down in 6th. They have struggled this year. We have already played them this year as well. I appreciate with the obscene amount of matches we've had this episode and that I've had to recap, you might have forgotten it. We took them on in the group stage. We beat them 6-2. I'd love a repeat of this today in the first leg. So we are sticking it out with the 4-2-4 in today's game. I feel like it's the system that suits us best, especially when teams play this kind of 3-at-the-back centre-back system. I think it allows us to press just a little bit more effectively. When you play a 4-2-3-1, that press becomes somewhat less effective when there's a few more defenders back. Would love us to find a way through early on in this game, just to lift the pressure off slightly. This set piece hasn't resulted in anything immediately, but it's still in a dangerous area, and Reece James, he's capable of pulling the trigger. On that occasion, his shot hits the crossbar and leaves it shaking. Another set piece, Chilwell dinking it forward for Fofana, trying to keep the play alive here. Back to Chilwell, edge of the area, he can score, he doesn't score, the shot was blocked, it fell to Nkunku, it's gone over for a goal kick. 30 minutes played here. Set pieces have been our best route for chances. We might have another one here because Nkunku is over it. He's floating it towards Erling Haaland, who at the back post is going to have his header crash against the post. Okay, set piece number 4. Can we have something happen here? Nkunku, back post, Haaland hits the woodwork, but this time it hits the woodwork and it goes in. I think to say that goal's been coming might be the understatement of the year. We have been on the front foot throughout this half. We've had Atleti at our mercy. Set pieces have been where we've created the vast majority of our chances. We have a breakthrough before half-time. In spite of that, I'm not going to go for a good team talk. I'm far from pleased. We can do better. You have to imagine as the home side during this second half, Atleti are going to get to a point where they do want to commit a few more men forward to the attack. When that's going to happen, I mean, I suppose it remains to be seen. There's half an hour left here. They've still not had a shot on target. They've not even had a shot during this game. And yet it does remain at just the 1-0 margin. I think if we had a draw going into the second leg at home, you'd back us to get the result. That said, the sooner we can get the job done and the more comfortable and easy we can make the job in the second leg, the better. We are going to be put perhaps under a little bit of pressure here. For the first time really in this game, Atleti with a bit of possession and getting it forward. Molina back, Griezmann, Dean Henderson, what a save, my son. I think that Dean Henderson save is the first time he's been called into action. You could have forgiven him for falling asleep between the sticks, but no, he was alive, he was alert. There's only 15 minutes left here. I was about to click tactics to make some changes personnel-wise, just to get in some fresh legs. Would love to really up the tempo for what remains here. I'm tempted to go to attacking. If we got another goal here, maybe the desire to do that reduces slightly. Yeah, there is, 15 minutes left? Oblak with the ball in his hand. You can see with how Atleti is set up, our press does allow us to, eliminate more effectively, I feel like, some of their options out from the back and really force an error, force a turnover. At least that's the theory. It had been working until this point, but now Atleti knocking the ball around as well, and Kondogbia, an effort from range stopped by Henderson. And now I'm going to pause the game and make subs. That's when you know things are serious. I'm going to bring on Guller. I'm going to bring in Rooney as well. Get some fresh legs in those wider areas. Evan Ferguson's not been superb. I could bring in Lukaku. I'm not going to bring him in. I'm going to bring in Victor Roque, who as of late has been putting in some really good performances, both in training and on the pitch. So 10 minutes left here. I might live to regret this. I'm going to go on attacking. We have a set piece. We've already scored from one. We could score from another. We will score from another. It's Erling Haaland's 67th goal of the season. I am glad I held off going on attacking until this highlight played out. I'm still very tempted to stay on attacking. We've just brought on some fresh legs in the final third. Atleti, I think, will feel some pressure at this point to make something happen going forward. I'm going to get a bit shouty. One shout to demand more. We're 2-0 up. 3-0 and you'd say game, set and match after the first leg without getting too carried away. Could we make something happen here? Reece James, Arda Güler, Rooney. His shot flashes wide of the post. I imagine that shot there is going to be the last little bit of action for this game. 4 minutes of added time comes and goes. It's an Erling Haaland brace that gets us the result. Both goals from set pieces. Not exactly what you want to see, but we were on the front foot a lot in this game defensively. Great ratings across the board. Henderson didn't have a lot to do. When he was called into action, he made all the stops necessary. Haaland, man of the match. I feel like I've said that so many times this year. I'll give him some more praise. If you were wondering, Jack, what promise have you given him? I told him I'd reduce the number of unhappy players at the club. We have had a few unhappy campers as of late, which is a little bit concerning. I feel like it is a squad game and I have been using most of the squad, and yet there's just still a few miserable people amongst us. Speaking of rotating the team, I think that's what I am going to have to do against Nottingham Forest. As much as I was hoping we could demolish Madrid in this first leg and then not have to worry about the first team being at full strength for the second leg, 2-0, it's not done. Not going to get complacent. We have room to wiggle in the Premier League, so wiggle we shall. I'll join you in a week for the second leg. We're at home against Atleti. Let's get the job done. Okay, game number 2, Atletico Madrid, second leg. I realise I'm jumping straight into this game. We did play a game midweek against Nottingham Forest. I don't really want to acknowledge it. We lost 2-1. The only good news in all of this was Erling Haaland scored. So at least he's kept his goal-scoring record going. I have no idea how many Premier League goals he's going to end up with. There's still 10 games left of the season for us. He's got 48 so far. If he gets to 60, I think that would be quite good. That's one of the most ridiculous statements I've ever said playing Football Manager. And you might have spotted it, we are still 6 points ahead of Man City with a game in hand. I'm not going to too preemptively get carried away, but at the same time, I don't feel like I need to panic about this Nottingham Forest result just yet. Anyway, we are going to put full focus on this Atletico Madrid game. I feel like after a few episodes where I've been playing like 10 to 20 episodes between matches, it's quite refreshing actually to come back on a slightly more regular intermission, even if I am coming back to say, and Kunku got injured again between episodes. He's bruised his toe. He'll be back soon. He probably shouldn't start. Who do I want to start this game? I think I'm going to go with Addons simply because he is our right-sided player who is in the most form right now. He's actually been putting in some really, really great displays. And with his set-piece wizardry and Haaland in the box, it feels like a recipe for goals. Elsewhere, Caicedo back from suspension is great to see. I am going to start Ramsey out on the left-hand side. Of course, he is right-footed, but he does have a solid enough left foot. This is going to be his second game in the Champions League. In the last game he played in this competition, he did get a 7.3 rating for us. So he's definitely Champions League quality, in case his attributes weren't reflective of that. With a 2-goal cushion, I feel like we can afford to experiment a little. We should be okay here, right? I hope so. Assuming that we do make it through this round, we will have our youth intake to look forward to. I can't remember if the preview was good or bad. I feel like it was indifferent, so that's something to look forward to. I want to sell you on the dream that there could be Wonder Kids next episode. The reality is that's unlikely. And, well, you know what? Instead of focusing on what could or could not be coming next episode, get your head in the game, Jack. Early on in this game, Henderson called into action. He is still starting in goal. He did put in a good performance in the last game, to be fair. Called into action on 4 occasions. Stopped everything. Let's see if he can keep another clean sheet in this one. We're holding on for now. I say we're holding on. There's immediately another set-piece highlight here. It's a throw-in to Griezmann. If they get a goal early, it's squeaky bum time all of a sudden. It's hit the post. It's gone wide. I'm not enjoying this. There was a temptation to go to the more conservative 4-2-3-1. I've decided to go with the all-out guns blazing kind of 4-4-2 to try and just get the early goal. Because I think if we can make it 3-0 on aggregate, it becomes a mountain for Atleti to climb. We've weathered an initial early storm. Now, can we try and turn this ship around? It's not been amazing from us so far in this game. And in fact, it's Atleti on the attack again here. Giuliano with the ball. Caicedo, great little tackle. Ferguson can't get there, but it finds its way to Arda Güler. Quite a lot of turnover of possession, it feels like, early on in this game. Atleti look like they're defending quite narrowly, so when we do get the overlaps going, that could open up opportunities to find a way through. Caicedo, Haaland, from range, pulls the trigger, keeper saves it. We have still got Arda Güler over the corner. I've talked about his set-piece wizardry. It's one of the reasons we signed him at the start of Season 1. He finds Haaland's forehead. Unfortunately, he can't find the target. Atleti are defending in this really, really narrow shape. I'm going to tell the players to use the width as much as possible here. We're playing this wide formation. We're playing with wingers. There is room to exploit. If we double up on their wing-backs, we could cause them some serious issues, I feel like. Let's see if we can make something happen immediately. From one side to the other, catching their wing-back shot. Chilwell invited forward, and maybe that's why they invited him forward. That shot at the end of it, atrocious. It's been all action so far in this game. It feels like I barely get a chance to catch my breath. Sometimes when I'm recording these videos, I talk over the highlight ends, and I get a nice 10-second break. Not getting that in this game. It's one highlight into another highlight into another highlight. Sadly, we've not found the breakthrough yet in this game, but there might be a chance here. Ferguson, with only really Haaland to aim for in the middle, he picks out Erling Haaland. He headers it wide, though. There's only been, I think, 3 shots on target so far in this game after 23 minutes. And yeah, I feel like we're on our 6-4-7 free play. It's been absolutely mad. Both teams creating stuff. Perhaps us more so, especially with this shift to the wider, more stretchy system. Not only are we going to play wider and open up space in the wider areas, but like we saw there, when they're forced to defend wide Atleti, there should be some channels in the middle for Bellingham to make use of. Anyway, Chilwell with the ball again here. They've got so many men behind the ball. We are still 2-0 up. At some point, they are going to have to go on the attack. If we could get that crucial first goal on the night, it'd be huge. Bellingham, maybe a chance here. Shoots, blocked. Save forced out by a block. I don't think it was needed. I think the shot was always going wide. We will now have that set piece. I'm looking at Arda Güler. I can't see Haaland at the near post, so I assume it's our far post routine. Indeed, it is. Atleti's kryptonite in the first leg was set pieces. They're looking better in this game here, although, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking too soon. There's maybe a chance to happen here. Caicedo, Ramsey with the ball, cutting inside, switches it wide. Reece James, Bellingham, Ferguson in behind. Don't celebrate it. I think he's offside. The linesman's raised his flag. We've carved them open superbly. The match plan, the game plan, executed great. And yeah, it's all for nothing. It's offside. Just as you think the highlights are over. No. The kickoff from the offside going to result in another one. I say the kickoff. It's the kicking of the free kick is going to result in another one. Haaland wide. Ramsey in behind. Ferguson in the middle to aim for. Haaland's arriving as well. Ferguson is there. He scores. Is he offside again? Has he been offside for 2 goals in the space of 30 seconds? Is that really what's happening here? Or is this one going to count? VAR are going to review it. Is he on? Is he off? The answer is he is offside again. Unbelievable. Could someone teach Ferguson the offside rule? To be fair, that was very close. You know what? I'll apologise. I'm being unnecessarily harsh on him. There's 10 minutes left of this half. I can't believe we've not had a goal. I think there's been more highlights in this game than the first game. Is there a chance here? Guller scores. He's offside as well. We've had 3 offsides in 6 in-game minutes. I already know what's coming. I've seen the flag be raised. I think whenever the flag's raised, it's always offside. Oh dear. Look at this left-hand side. From the 30th, 31st to 37th minute, just goals disallowed. Can we find a breakthrough here? Back post, Haaland headers it. It's another corner. We're making it work. I mean, he's very good in the areas, Haaland. Guller's very good at set pieces. It's 3-0. It's how we managed to exploit them in the first leg, and we're exploiting Atleti in the same way in this one here. They just don't have a player that can match Haaland's aerial prowess. It's caused them issues. We have the breakthrough. I was going to get shouty at halftime. I think I still might get shouty, but you know what? If we play how we did in that first half, we will win this game. Okay, well, we're into, 4 seconds of the second half? Immediately another highlight. If you thought this was going to be a tale of 2 halves, no, the second half of the story is very much similar to the first. Atleti playing the ball around the back here. It does look like they've maybe changed their system a little bit, although actually, no, they have still got the 3 at the back, just the wing-backs are really committing forward now, which is interesting. I feel like it plays into our strengths of getting in behind the wing-backs, which we might be able to do here. Ferguson, Ramsey, Caicedo, Haaland's in the middle. Caicedo could go on his own. Caicedo does go on his own. It's his 5th goal of the season, and off the post. That was beautiful. You can see here, look how many players we had surging forward. Caicedo is a defensive mid, not afraid to get forward when the space opens up, and with finishing like that, can you blame him for wanting to get into the box with the ball at his feet? Now, logically, at this point, I should probably sub off some players, save some legs. I kind of want to score as many as possible. I want to stat pad Haaland. I want to try and get him to 100 goals in all competitions, which, I mean, it sounds ridiculous as a prospect. It's still possible, but he is going to have to start scoring a few more. Ferguson's offside again. I've seen the flag go up. I don't need to see the rest of it. Editing Jack, next highlight. It's kind of impressive that he managed to score a hat-trick of offside goals. Maybe eventually he'll score, just not from this one. Although maybe we'll score something here. Ferguson, he has scored. Please tell me he's onside. He is onside. Bloody, I never thought that would happen. We're 5-0 up. I'm going to make some subs. I'm going to go on attacking. Let's see how many more we can get. Okay, I made 5 changes. Haaland is off the pitch with a minor injury. We'll hope that's nothing too serious, because I really don't want him injured. I made all the subs. I kind of just brought on players who I figured might be happy to get some first-team football. With it, we have slowed down the play slightly, although maybe there's a chance here. Lukaku misses it. He was offside anyway. Do my strikers just not know the offside rule? I think that's what it might be. Either way, doesn't matter. We have still scored 5 across 2 games. I'm very happy with that. Now I'm just concerned about Haaland. I'm hoping it's nothing serious. Elsewhere, Porto have knocked out Inter, Man City knock out Leipzig, and Liverpool knock out PSG on penalties. Wow. Haaland's out for 1 to 2 days. Whew. Breathe a sigh of relief, everyone. It's all good. No shocks in the round of 16. Now the question becomes, who are we playing in the quarterfinals? Who are we playing next time? Give me my opposition. I'm mashing continue here, expecting me to get the inbox item with the Champions League draw. It's not arrived. This is very awkward. I could keep mashing continue. I've got a game to play tomorrow, which we're not doing in today's episode. So you know what? Cliffhanger. Next time out, youth intake, Champions League quarterfinals. Who are we going to play on from this list? Who do I want to play? The answer is anyone but Man City, and preferably not a Premier League club nor Real Madrid. I realise I'm being rather picky there with the teams that are remaining. Either way, a good first step made today in the Champions League. A good performance, a confident performance. Haaland continuing to score goals. He's got 67 so far this year. I really want to try and get him to 100. I don't think it's possible, but we'll give it a go. Next time out, we will play insert team name here. I don't know who it is. Until then, take things easy. Thank you for watching as always. It's me, Jack, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.